Alrighty. And about to hit play on the Radja, so we are live on the radio.
It's all on tape.
All right. Well, fantastic. This is the rules of Nerdquisition. I am Gretchen. I am joined always by my faithful and most awesome co-host, Gilbert, the angriest of IT nerds, even though he's not angry. He's not angry enough.
I'm absolutely have a rage of fury that is buried deep within me. That
it's very deep. Yes, it's very deep. But we're also joined by George, Techno George, who I co-host with him on his show and Angry Show, the help desk on GCPR and YouTube, and also Model Citizen. We've had our second episode.
Yes.
This past week.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Check it out. Y'all should check it out. 2 p.m. Saturdays, GCPR.live.
Yes. And George is a huge nerd. But we say that with loving. We say that loving.
It's a loving
nerds.
term. It's a loving term of endearment. That
yes.
For us. Yes.
We are nerds and we own it proudly.
I'm wearing my department jacket, so.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't have my Starfleets.
We're back and talking Trek again, coming up on our 1-year anniversary, a little over a month from now.
Yes.
Nerdquisition, which is a huge thing because most podcasts don't make it past 6 months. And now here we are, almost 1 year in. We did it. And, Dak, we love you. I texted you. You're coming on the show.
Indak, you get your ass on the show, Indak. This show would not exist without you, man. So you better get your ass on here. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. And I say that with love, Indak, with nothing but love. But get your ass on the show.
Recording in progress.
I actually remember to record that. I was late, but hey, yeah, this is Rules of Nerdquisition. This is Sunday, January 19th, 2025. And tomorrow is MLK Day. Okay?
Yes.
MLK Day. It's not Trump Day.
MLK.
But we're talking
exactly.
I'm Gretchen, he's Gilbert, and we've got George. And George is here. George is awesome. So
yes, he is.
Thank you.
We're talking Cat's Paw, the Star Trek Halloween episode.
Said yes. It was good.
Aired October
27th,
1967, is that?
Yes, it is.
October 27th,
October 27th, 1967. All right, George. See?
I remember that day because I watched it first run. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a fun episode. It's fun. Antoinette Bauer, who played Sylvia, is still alive. She's still alive. However, Theo Marcuse, who played Korob, did pass. And he passed away in November 29th, 1967 at the age of 47. So very young.
Wow.
Rest in peace, sir. You were awesome in this episode. But my kill to death ratio is
100%. And she does that.
The worst.
She does that for you, our audience. She does that so you know who died making this episode. I mean, even though it's already made, but still, that's beside the point.
Every episode, and the one that haunts me the most, and I will probably carry this to my grave myself, is that when we had Chris Hunter on the show, son of Jeffrey Hunter, the original, the only Captain Pike.
Yes.
Was that I had to talk about his dad.
Yeah.
To say like, oh gosh, like.
So yeah, it's kind of
it haunts me.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to say, a KD ratio 100% for,
your dad.
For your dad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Terrible.
Like,
But Chris, we love you. I know you're probably not watching, but if you see this, we love you. We appreciate you being on the show last season.
and
We're
and
halfway through our
just,
second season now.
absolutely, just want to send this quick message out to Chris and to Tom McLaurin. Hope you guys are safe. I hope you hope your homes are still safe. Hope you're intact. Hope this whole wildfire situation hasn't put you out. But yeah. Sending all my love out to you guys.
We're both. I mean, at least I know me and you, Gilbert, are. I'm sure George is too. But we're all friends with Tom McLaren. We loved having you on the show. That was like a 3-hour episode, like our longest episode ever.
It was such a great episode. And Tom, you need to come back on the show, Tom.
Talk to you again. Yeah, we want to talk to you again. So I'll reach out to him. I just know the LA wildfires. Everyone's
because I know
horrible thing.
Yeah, because I mean, here's the thing. He had a movie that was coming out that he was promoting, and with the wildfires, and so he's been busy, and he's had a lot on his plate, and so you gotta give him some time. We love you, Tom.
Yeah, we love you. We can't do much to help. I mean, I wish we could.
Yeah.
We're here for you, and we want you back. But right now, take care of you and your family. So, rock on.
Absolutely. So, but we are talking cat's paw. So this is a fun episode. The Halloween episode. It was a great episode. It's a funny episode. I liked it.
It is funny. I love the transmuter, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, so we opened up this whole shindig shenanigans where the red shirt beamed up and died beaming up. So it's like, hold up. We started out with a red shirt gone.
Red shirt gone.
And so what did Kirk have to do? He had to go down and see what's up. And not send Spock, not send like a designated away team. No. Kirk got to go by himself. Not himself. Well, with other people. But he got to go.
Poor crewman Jackson. You died on the platform. This was your big Hollywood break, right? And you got to die on the transporter platform. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's kind of like Mel Brooks, History of the World Part 1. When you die at the Coliseum, you're really
die.
Sorry.
Right. So when you die at the Coliseum, you really die at the Coliseum.
Yeah, totally. Just
But
so the away team beams down, and I'm sorry, we didn't call it the away team at that point. We call it the landing party.
The landing party. Yes, that's right. The away team was a TNG. It started in TNG.
Right.
That's right.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry about that. Okay, all you nerds out there. Sorry.
Look.
Don't they encounter the three? I guess like the Stygian. Actually, they remind me of the Stygian witches from. From Clash of the Titans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the motion capture.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
What was his name? He's married to that chick with the big lips.
The actor Henry Hamlin.
Henry Hamlin, thank you.
Yes.
And I love that movie, by the way.
Harry Hamlin.
Harry Hamlin. That's right.
Harry Hamlin.
Yeah, Hamlin.
That movie is amazing. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen it in years. Now I need to watch it.
With the big
right. I used to love the little owl.
Lisa something.
Yeah.
I love the owl. That little owl.
Lisa Big Lips. I don't know what her name is.
Look, I've had augmentation, but not on my lips.
Lisa Botox. I don't know.
That's Lisa Botox.
I don't know. Anyway.
Oh. But yeah.
Oh, we went way left field there.
Oh, yeah. We go from a landing party all the way to
Lisa Rinna.
all to Lisa Rinna.
That's it. Lisa Rinna.
Lisa
that's right.
Rinna is her.
Yeah, if she ever fell out of a window of like an office building, she could save herself with those lips. Sorry.
So
looking at her like now, like
so let's see, we're talking about
your plane crashes in the Atlantic. You have a flotation device built in,
right? So we go from this is one hell of a 6-degree separation. Here we go from Captain Kirk to Lisa Rinna using her lips as a flotation device. But yes, the landing party arrives on Pyra 7. And they are met by three evil ghosts, and it's not not any kind of like Ebenezer Scrooge type of thing. Where the ghosts of Christmas,
past, present,
and future. No, it's like they walked into a straight up what's it like 300 with the three oracles and stuff.
Right.
They walked a bit of that and said, go away, and here. And this is me, but this would be a short episode. Because the second I would beam down and say, go away. That's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear. Look, I don't know what's going on with that.
I'm out.
I'm done. I don't know. So you call me whatever you want. So you call me the worst captain.
Late for dinner.
You call me the worst captain in Starfleet. I don't care.
Yep, I'm gone.
I'm done with that. Nah.
This is your planet? Okay, cool. Fine,
all right, cool.
But no, Kirk is like, let's look at that castle over there. That's weird.
So hey, what's that? And what do? They all go to the castle. And and what do they find in the castle? They find a space wizard. A space wizard. And we're not talking about a Jedi. We're not talking about a Sith. No, this is a straight up space wizard. Just a wizard
straight
in
up
space.
Like, I can do whatever I want. If I wave this wand, I can do whatever I want. Like, no, I'm out. I'm gone.
I'm done. I'm done. That's all I need to hear. And then and when they met the other one, his wife or whatever, his partner, the Sylvia or whatever, and she took
Sylvia, yes.
And she took the
still alive, by the way.
Who's still alive?
Why are you so
why?
Kidding, girl.
But she takes a little pendant charm that she has of the Enterprise and holds it over a candle. And at that point, everybody starts burning up. And it's
the temperature, Captain, it's increasing. I don't have the power. Like,
and I'm thinking to myself, it's like, why'd you hit the AC, man? Somebody turn on a fan. Like, this is the 24th, 5th, 6th century. You're telling me that there's no air conditioners in space? Really? You're telling me that the crown jewel flagship of the United, Federation of Planets, whatever, you're telling me not one. You can't replicate an AC unit. You can't replicate, a fan. Really? Come on, man. Come on. You can make a fan. You can make AC unit. And Scotty's lying to everybody. Scotty's lying to everybody.
To be clear, because I'm a super nerd, the Enterprise didn't actually become the flagship until the D.
Yes.
So only the D going forward was the flagship. But it was because of things that Kirk and Rachel Garrett and even John Harriman did. There are reasons why the Enterprise became the flagship, but it was never a flagship under Kirk.
So yes. They became the flagship because of the D. You heard it here. From Gretchen. They became the flagship because of the D.
But it was just the only starship it could do, anything. They could defeat anyone.
So, yes.
And,
so
they could defeat anyone under an hour. So.
Right? In under an hour. So in under an hour with commercial breaks.
You've only got 45 minutes.
So,
minus commercial breaks to save the galaxy.
So you got 45 minutes.
With a piece of bamboo and some diamonds. I know.
So yes,
that's a different episode.
We'll give you an hour with commercial breaks.
Yeah.
Fight a little while. Rest a little while.
There you go. See, take a commercial break so you get some water.
Break.
Get some water. Get a snack.
Come back.
Smoke them if you got them.
but yeah, we get some funny instances in this episode because got Sulu and McCoy and them they're all kind of zombies.
And Scotty, right? Scotty's that.
Scotty's in it. Yes, he's a zombie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scott and Sulu. Yeah, those
Scott
are the
and
two.
Sulu.
Yeah, and they do the weird zombie thing, which is funny because I was watching an episode of Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and number one was talking to Spock, and she's like, "You've never seen a zombie movie?" He's like, "Well, I have seen a movie, but never a zombie." And I was like, "Oh, that's funny."
That. Oh, there's something about that sometimes with Spock, which iteration of Spock it is, they're just every now and again they'll just deliver just the one line, just a deadpan line that is just absolutely hilarious. And every time
right,
it always has to do with the Doctor.
So I'm going to ask you guys, since I've got you both on the panel today, not including Leonard Nimoy, obviously, who is your favorite Spock? Zachary Quinto or Ethan Peck?
My personal one is Ethan Peck.
George?
Oh, I'm going to get killed here. I'm going to get beamed out into space. I'm going to get spaced. No, I was going to say Zachary Quinto only because I had never seen Strange New World. I don't have Paramount Plus, so I wasn't privy to all those episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I will send you.
Yeah.
I'll send you my login and password after the show.
Okay.
I'll get you on there.
I did see the first season for Strange New Worlds, and I loved it. It was on Prime. It was on Amazon Prime. They also put, I believe, the first season for Halo as well, and I was watching that. But
yes,
I haven't seen the second season. I think they're up to the third, fourth season of Strange New Worlds.
It is going into the third.
Second season just ended. 3 and 4 have been.
It's been confirmed. 3 is coming out
this year, and 4 is confirmed. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't. I saw the episode with the singing. I thought that was fantastic. I was like, okay, it's gonna be a musical episode, kind of like Cop Rock. Was it? Remember Cop Rock? I don't remember Cop Rock.
Or that
Gilbert remembers Cop.
Yes, I remember Cop Rock.
Episode where everyone was singing. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh God, I remember Cop Rock. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, the season finale of Strange New Worlds episode, or season 2, was where Pike was asked, "How are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I'm not breaking out in a song every 10 minutes, so that's good." That's a thing.
So yeah, I like that episode. I did like that episode because, at least with the episode like that, Pike acknowledged that, hey, why am I singing? I don't like the singing. This is not okay.
Yeah, he acknowledged it. He noticed it. He was like,
yeah, it wasn't just everybody just sung their whole monologue and their whole kind of conversation back and forth and just acted like nothing happened. Pike was like, where's that music coming from? Why am I singing?
It's so weird.
It's like, what's going on? This is not okay.
But I do agree with Chris Hunter. Strange New Worlds is probably one of my absolute favorite series in the Star Trek franchise. It's
yeah, it is. It's
awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
And
it's so good.
We're
Yeah.
Talk about my other favorite after we finish reviewing Cat's Paw. Because
yes,
finish Discovery. Oh my goddess!
So she discovered.
I discovered.
She discovered Discovery, which was already discovered because Discovery was discovered. But then she discovered what Discovery was discovered about.
Everybody get all that, or strike that.
Everybody get all that.
Everybody get all that.
Are you keeping up? Are you keeping up? Because we're nerds and we go.
So we go like, you got to keep up, kid, keep up with us, kid.
We go to places that nobody has gone before, so
and at light speed.
Yes.
Maximum
and we'll probably never go again. I don't know.
Best speed to wherever the hell we're going.
So drive it like you stole it. And we talked about so Gretchen had after she when was it? After Picard or was it during Discovery? We saw sent me a text about 7 of 9. Picard. He watched Picard and sent me a text about 7 of 9 and saying that 7 of 9 was captain of a Starfleet starship. And so she was wondering what was her
Enterprise G.
Enterprise G. And
G.
Gretchen asked,
like me and you, G.
G.
There's 3 G's here. Holy
right?
shit.
So she had asked what would be her kind of engage command. And I said
so Pike says oh god, what's Pike says? Hit it. Pike says hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk says take her out. Card obviously make
engage.
it so or engage. What was Janeway's?
Janeway's is I forgot what Janeway's was. I don't know, I forgot. I know Michael's was let's fly. And I said 7 of 9 was probably be drive it like you stole it.
Small fun fact here: the Enterprise G in Picard was the actual model was made by Bill Krause. We're gonna have to have him on the program.
Oh, okay.
And you see that's, and again, everyone, George.
I don't know everyone.
That's know everybody.
I know
right?
a few people.
He knows a few people.
In the model world, I mean, I know a few people.
Oh, right. A few people. Oh, I just have, just somebody that worked on Enterprise and just worked on it.
I mean, if I told you that I knew Anson Mount, you'd be like, I need him on. But no, I don't know Anson Mount.
Oh, well, that's...
that's disappointing.
He's got great hair.
He has perfect hair. He has the perfect hair.
When you meet Mark Myers on Model Citizen next week, you will go, he's got it. He's got the hair, he's got the face, he's got the physique.
So he is
the whole thing. We're trying to build the Pike wheelchair, and there are no plans at all on the internet. I'm gonna have to just look at the episode like I did before for the Kirk chair, and
just kind of
you see, right?
Yeah,
build from what you see, and try to get it right. So.
Yeah, there's not much to it. I mean, it's a black box with.
It looks like a steamer. It looks like those portable steamers they had from the 50s that you get into with the little dial and everything. Like that.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah.
Like the sauna.
And now I'm gonna say too. Like, I mean, I saw Strange New Worlds. I watched that first 2 seasons before I ever saw Discovery. And then I saw Discovery, and I saw the scene where Pike saw his future.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He was in that chair, and I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized because we all know what happens to Pike. We know.
Yeah.
But oh man.
But just the fact know that he knows.
Now that he knows, yes, and he's still going forward. Like, I know my future. It is horrible. I'm going to suffer. But you know what?
Said I got to do it.
I got to do what I got to do because I'm the captain of the goddamn Enterprise.
I mean,
but he also knows the timeline. He knows that if he changes his future, somebody else may die, and he doesn't want that. So.
Yeah, or it could be the complete, a domino of cascading effect, which would be the end of the entire Federation. So, yeah, he's kind of stuck in a situation. He's stuck.
Yeah.
Stuck between the proverbial rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
So,
we're gonna.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's so weird. But this is why nerds do what we do. This is why we get so involved in stuff. Like, I can look at, yes, I know Anson Mount is an actor. He's just a dude playing a character. But this is something and someone who's been involved in my life or part of my life for most of it. I remember building models with my dad watching Star Trek and syndication. It was canceled. Star Trek, the original series, was canceled before I was even born.
Right.
And yet I was still watching it with my dad. And these things matter to us. You can make fun of us. You can throw jokes. But now we take the word nerd and we own it.
Yeah. We wear it like a badge of honor.
Right.
It became, it's kind of like when you come in from work and you're tired and you just want to sit down with a good book. That's what Star Trek, became to me. It became like, it was like my go-to relaxation time to just sit back and watch, be entertained. Also, I got ideas from it. I mean, I actually, I think when Next Generation came in, I started getting back into science. I was into science for a while. I actually was going to be an astronaut. I wanted to be an astronaut, and I read all these books, propulsion, all this other stuff, and then when Star Trek came along, I was like, wow, this kind of, it's advanced, and everybody loved the future, but they still had the same problems of racism, the same problems of political
misogyny, gender identity, sexuality, all of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it basically taught us that we could be better. There was hope for the future. And it did in some way change the fabric of everybody's lives, like engineers and stuff, like the engineers the older engineers who started, in IBM and all these other companies and everything, they were inspired by Star Trek. Like, oh yeah, I watched Star Trek when I was a kid. That's why I built this. That's why I built like the StarTAC. Remember, like the Motorola StarTAC, the flip phone.
Yeah, the flip phone. Yeah,
communicator.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but it just became like a familiar thing. It was something that you watched. You brought these people into your homes. You brought these actors and actresses into your homes every week, and it just it became like I sat down on the couch. I'm going to either build a model, I'm going to read a book, I'm going to do a puzzle, I'm going to play with a toy, and still watch Star Trek. But Star Trek was in the background, so it it became a part of like Americana, like TV dinners. Like when I watched the episode, it's not Carbondale. Oh, Carbon Creek from Enterprise, where T'Pol recounts a story of the first Vulcans who came to Earth. They crash landed on Earth, but anyway, they're looking at the TV dinner, and the guy goes, cryogenics. They have cryogenics. So it was kind of like the frozen TV dinner. But getting back to Catspaw, I'm very sorry about that.
No, we're fine.
So look here, man. So
We
look.
do not have a set
Okay.
schedule. We go where we go, and that's what.
I'm
So look,
sorry, I'm babbling on and
Say, look,
babble
man.
on, George. babble
So
on.
look here, man. We hop on.
George.
We just hop on the ADHD train and let it ride. You know what I mean?
Ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond, I am now changing George's contact name in my phone to Babylon George.
Babble on, George. There you go.
No, I mean that lovingly. We go crazy. Me and Gilbert, we don't have a set thing.
No,
Which is
no. We just. I mean, we talk about the episode. You know, kind of give a quick synopsis of it. But I mean,
We get to it.
but
eventually.
yeah, we get to it. And so this
We'll
is
get to
this
it before we actually.
is. I mean, we got 2
have
hours.
phasers and transporters.
I mean, we got
We'll get back.
we got about 30 minutes.
Yeah, there was a.
I
there
think we
was
got
this
about 30
giant
minutes
cat.
before we talk about Discovery. We got about 30 minutes, so yeah.
Right, and there was this giant cat. I mean, it was just a shadow on a wall, but it was a
But
giant
it was a
cat.
giant cat. It was a giant house cat, but it was a giant cat.
Another quick note to our Star Trek fans: I believe that the black cat that was used in Catspaw is actually Gary Seven's cat from Assignment Earth. I believe.
Oh wow!
I believe it's the
Oh.
same cat.
Going to have to Google that now. Gary Seven's cat.
That'd be funny if just a
Isis was
Yes,
her
Isis.
name.
Yes.
yeah, that would have been funny if it was just like a random cat that they just just one random cat that was just passing by. Somebody said,
Yeah.
"Hey, grab that cat!"
The studio, take her, put her.
Say,
in
"Grab
the
that cat real quick."
Isis was played by 3 different cats.
Oh, okay.
Sambo is the one that's named. The other 2 are
Mhm.
not.
Okay.
There were 3 different cats, and I'm pretty sure my killed to death ratio is safe. I'm sure they're
It's definitely safe on the cats. So
I'm pretty sure they're all gone by now. But rest in peace, Sambo, and your 2
and the 2
actors.
random alley cats that look similar.
But
I don't know what else
Isis
to
was a shapeshifter. I mean, we'll get to that. I'm not sure what episode is that Gary 7 episode.
Assignment is Assignment
yeah.
Earth.
I think it is Assignment Earth.
hmm
I think it's this season. Well, let's see. Oh, next week. God, Gilbert's gonna love next week.
A gentleman that I know, his name is Mike Reeder. He's in Canada. He makes the Gary 7 pen because he's a machinist. So he actually makes it if you go to his website.
Nice.
Cool.
Assignment Earth is the season finale for TOS season 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that in a few weeks
yeah.
Cool.
or several weeks. But yes, it's the last
yeah.
episode of season 2. Next, I can't wait. I hate to be like, the person who stokes the fire, but Gilbert's gonna hate next week's episode. He's gonna hate.
Oh, because of Harry Mudd. And I just want to. You ever
so much.
You ever had the one character that you just want to punch in the face for no reason, just because you see the guy and I don't know what you did, but I know you deserve a punch in the face.
Yeah,
That's
Which
him.
episode is it? Is it the one with the androids?
Mud. Yep.
Mud, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the worst. The 2 Mud episodes.
Right.
The 2. Like, oh my god. I loved him in Discovery.
But yeah, Rainn Wilson, he did
He was brutal.
he did a great depiction of Harry Mudd, and again,
Oh my god.
did one of those.
Sorry, Jason Isaacs, you died badly many times.
Oh my god! And again, he played it to it. That's the character that when you see him, you want to punch him in the face because you know he did something. You don't know what he did just yet, but you know he did something.
Having Star Trek background, when I saw Mudd show up on the show, I was like, oh my god, I want to punch you. And then he did horrible things that made me want to I want to multi-punch you. I want to Dragon Ball Z you in the face.
Right?
Right now.
Like just throat punch, roundhouse, just everything. Just yeah,
Put them in an airlock and space them.
exactly.
Yeah, what did they call that in BSG? You get airlocked, or
I'll get airlocked. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, dude, you're getting airlocked.
you're getting airlocked for real.
We're throwing you in a room and we're pushing the button. We're gonna smile when we do it.
We did that. I think we did that on a Star Trek role play. We had a role play thing where we were online, and I said, "Why don't we just space the crew?" It said, "George, you are an evil bastard." And I was like, "Yeah, but if we wore spacesuits and we went in with our Marine spacesuits on, we could just basically pull all the air out of the ship and." Space a couple of enemies,
Right.
at the same time, but we could retake the bridge." And they were like, "Okay." And we were like, "Okay." And there was a pause. There was like a 25-second pause on the listserv, and I was like, "Oh wow, they're really thinking about this." And no, they never did it, but that's okay.
But back to Cat's Paw.
That's okay.
Bat cat's paw, yes. So
Back to Cat's Paw. Yeah, so crew beams down. There's the little dangling of the thing over the fire, and then Korra, he encases it in glass or something, and
Clear resin. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
clear
but
resin.
yeah, that's exactly what it looked like.
Watching Model Citizen on Saturdays.
You
Tune in
did?
for these important details.
Said yes. GCPR.
But they go back to the dungeon, and then Kirk is taken away because Sylvia wants to experience human feeling.
See, yes,
And of
because
course, it's Kirk. She chooses because why not?
because everybody wants Kirk.
Everybody wants Kirk apparently.
So
Not me. But anyway,
Kirk does what Kirk does, and he tries to seduce his way into getting,
he tries to Kirk his way into it.
until he gets caught. He gets found out, and she says, pretty much to the effect of, "Oh, I'm about to kill you, bitch."
Yeah, and like, you're just trying to use me, so back to the dungeon with you.
So yeah, and so Kirk was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to use you. You trying to use me? Yeah, I'm using you." Which was just to me was hilarious.
Like, you've got this back and forth going, like, you're using me, I'm using you, blah blah blah, back and forth. Giant cats and Halloween stuff and whatever, and then like, oh, it's the wand.
Right?
It's the wand.
And it's like the wand is doing it, and again, space wizards. Space
wizards.
Well,
but when you smash the wand, you realize they're just like Fraggles.
Yes.
Like from Fraggle Rock.
So they're like little baby Fraggles.
Yeah, they're just baby Fraggles.
But they're just like really smart baby Fraggles.
if you look at the transmuter wand, that's where I got the idea for the transmutation crystal for shards.
Oh,
So
cool.
The transmutation
cool.
crystal was the transmuter. But the transmuter actually reminds me of the Trelane episode where the machine was hidden behind the mirror, and he never, he was never too far from the mirror to make things appear and disappear and, transmutate stuff. So it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
I actually loved the Fraggle. That was a great show.
Oh, Fraggle Rock? Of course.
Yeah, I loved it.
The Doozers.
Of course.
The Doozers.
The Doozers. And I just want to say, screw you to the health care industry. You robbed us of Jim Henson. You did that. You misdiagnosed him, and he died. So fuck you. Swear jar. Swear jar.
Swear jar because this is a family-friendly show.
Family-friendly show.
Yes, family-friendly.
We should create a Patreon called Swear Jar.
We
You
talked
should.
about that
Yeah.
on last week's episode, or either a Patreon or a Cash App. That every time we drop the F-bomb in the
Then-
family-friendly show,
Yeah, we
you
get
gotta
it.
send $1 to
Yeah.
Cash App.
I
Goes
send up
to the network.
yeah. We thought about setting up like a Venmo, a Cash App, a PayPal, or a Patreon, something. To where if any one of us, Thomas beat him one. Thomas beat us.
We're looking at you.
Say, looking
Thomas.
directly at you, Thomas. The second in F-bomb will say, instead of hearing me say, "You're killing me, Smalls," you're making us rich, Smalls.
Thomas was on our show last week, and I think he owes us about $12.
I think he does. Yes.
$12 or is it 1,200?
Well, if we're doing $1 per, about
1,200 in the first minute.
He was very good. He was very.
Oh,
he was.
He was very entertaining. So yeah,
He did his
anybody.
best, and we love having him on the show. And for all of you who are fans of this show, if you are, at the end of each season, we review one of the major. We review the movies. That's
Mhm.
our season finale.
Yes.
This is season 2. We already did a motion picture. Season 2 finale will be The Wrath of Khan, and Thomas the Villain Bishop will be with us again.
He'll make his return to talk yet some more about Khan Noonien Singh. Khan!
Hopefully, when you guys get to the Undiscovered Country, I can hopefully have Steve Neal on because he did Mr. Spock's ears. He did Leonard Nimoy's ears.
Oh, that would be cool.
Oh, that would be
Yeah,
awesome.
he also worked
Yes.
on Undiscovered Country.
That'd be amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's what season 6. So,
Season 6. Okay.
But hey, we
Mhm.
like I said, I think anything's possible now. I didn't think that Gilbert and I would be doing this today, and we're now a year in. We're a year in,
All right.
Nice.
and we're coming up. We're halfway through season 2, and we'll get there, and we'll do it. And yeah, I also wouldn't
Mhm.
mind. What was the name? What was it? Imani? Who's the name of the actor that played the Homoloid in Star Trek 6?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. So
Iman.
Iman.
is him on? Okay.
Yeah, I kind of want to get her in the show. How can I reach out to her?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get him on the show. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Iman, please. We're nobody. It won't cost you a thing. Please.
So 15 minutes. 20 minutes. 20 minutes max. 20 minutes max.
Hopefully,
So-
hopefully she's not connected to Adam Nimoy, where you have to pay $500 that were on the show. Oh,
Yeah, that's Adam. We were looking forward to it, but I'm sorry, I ain't
So-
paying $500. I ain't about to
We
pay
don't
$500.
have
All right. So look here, man.
$5.
No, I've got $5. That's going to my gas tank. Thank you.
So yeah.
Or for
So
my
no.
next dozen eggs.
So look, I got $5, but that's going straight, staying in my pocket.
Give you $500 in virtual Bitcoin. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
give me a few days. I can mine $5 in Bitcoin for you. You can have that.
I mean, I got a printer. I'll print out $5 bills for you. I mean, I don't know what else you want, because I mean,
we do not condone.
we do not condone counterfeiting. No, it is illegal. It is a crime.
Illegal.
And even though I joked
You will
about
go
it,
to
it
jail
is still a
forever.
crime. It is
You will go to
something.
jail forever.
Yes.
Unlike January 6th insurrectionists, you will go to
So-
jail forever.
Unlike them, you will be in jail. Yes. Ah, yes.
So yeah, Kirk has the wand.
So
The
Kirk has the
transmitter.
wand.
He smashes it, and we see that Sylvia and Korob are fraggles.
to the little Fraggles. Yes, and the whole the illusion that they built came crumbling down. All of the just came crashing all around them.
Hopefully, we can have Tony Hardy on to model Citizen one time. I think he has reproduction of those puppets. Of the alien puppets. They kind of look like they do look
They look like Fraggles. They're like little mini Fraggles, yes. And which, who knows, it probably could have been the inspiration for Fraggle Rock.
And maybe, and I want to be clear that we've talked about this before, Gilbert. How much what I like about the original Star Trek series is its set design. I know it's basic, but it's like a stage performance.
Right.
And this episode had some amazing set pieces. I mean, the castle, the dungeon, even outside with the fog. Because I once did like a school report, and I made this cave opening out of cardboard, and I bought dry ice from a local ice cream store, and I put it in cups behind, and it was like mist was coming out of the cave, and I was like, this is what I love about Trek, because it's set design.
Yeah.
And, even in the Discovery episode, and we'll get there, where they went to Talos 4 with the Telosians, they had the same like sounds in the background.
Yeah.
The atmospheric sounds. Like
it's not just
this is what makes Star Trek amazing to me.
Yeah.
The lights, the sound, music,
it's the whole environment. Like, it's not just everything is quiet, but except for the whoever's talking. I mean, you're on a planet, so you're going to hear, wind blowing. You're going to hear, tree leaves rustling. You're going to hear people in the background, talking. You're going to hear footsteps. You're going to hear, little things like that. And just the simple fact is that just for them to pay the attention of it, even when they're not, in outside, or when they're not, in a setting where it would be naturally noisy, but in sets like the bridge, or sets like in the quarters, you would hear just like little things going off, like little tones, little notifications, little things like that. Yeah.
Engine, humming, or warp engine.
Yeah.
Humming.
You would hear hummings of the engines. You would hear that. And it's just Scotty said, like in TNG episode Relic.
Yeah.
He's like, I could tell you the speed we're traveling by the vibration
of the deck plates.
Of the deck plates. Right.
Right. Yeah. It's little things like that, that those little small attention to details that just kind of makes you like, oh, they're just not just saying, oh, we're in space. There's like, hey, we're in space, but, this is also our home. And there's little things that we have to do to maintain our home. So, yeah.
Everybody got a sweep. We all got to wipe the counters off. We got to sweep the pet hair off the floor. We got to clean the toilet. These are things that we do. And those details are important. And even if it's just some weird sound in the background, like I wish I could walk outside to take my dog out and like the air was like, whatever weird sound that, whenever you go down to a planet in Star Trek. I wish that Earth was like that, but Earth sucks.
I
found make up stuff.
I found something the other day on the internet. They actually built this thing. I was like, and it was my idea actually, and somebody actually built it, but they were selling it. Remember the episode, the one with the Magato that bites Kirk, and then he has the, I think it's called A Private Little War.
Yes, that's the one with his friend Tyree.
Right.
Yeah.
And they
where Kirk is,
Klingons are giving weapons to the other people, and Kirk's like, okay, we got to do that.
And the Klingons are giving. So he goes into the cave, and McCoy takes the hand phaser, and he shoots it at the 4 rocks to actually make the cave warmer. Somebody came up with that. They came up with a heater. So there's 4 rocks that glow with a heater, and then the remote is the phaser. So you can basically, and it would actually glow like that and create heat. And I was like, dude, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And the remote was the little hand phaser. And I said to myself, could you possibly make that? And then somebody actually made it. I was like, that was really cool.
Nice.
I thought that would have been really cool to have.
That would be. Quite honestly, that would. I mean, that would be so. I would.
That episode.
I'd brag about that.
We'll be covering that episode.
Okay,
this season.
I'm a private little war.
It's season 2, episode 19.
Episode 19. Yeah. I'll have to send you the link to that other thing. I sent you the link to the model lighting for your starship that you're building.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
It's right here. Got it right here. I'm painting it, and you can watch me build this on Model Citizen Saturdays, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Right? 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Eastern. Yes.
2 p.m. Eastern. So yes.
That's I'm building it. I'm going to build my own.
And you
It's an
can.
AML model. Yes, it's some plastic thing someone sent me. But I'm going to build it and
Yeah, you could.
to light it, paint it. I'm doing everything. So we're going all out.
Absolutely. You can meet all the people that George knows and all the people that have made props for all kind of various sci-fi
We're gonna have to talk about
shows and stuff like that.
Tubing that you're going to have to put into the pylons for the Constitution class to keep those things right.
Oh my
Keep
God,
the engines up.
George.
Mark will tell you that. Mark will.
I'm sure he will. Let's do this a little early.
Okay.
We're about 7 minutes out, but this is the Rules of Nerdquisition airing on GCPR.live, also on Rules of Nerdquisition on YouTube. We're not doing the TikTok thing anymore.
No.
Because TikTok sucks. But we're here. This is the show reset. We have it's me, Gretchen, and Gilbert as always, and our friend George. We do shows with him, the Help Desk, and also Model Citizen, which just talked about. It's a new show. We had 2nd episode. We're grateful for that. And we're talking Trek. And yeah, we talked Catspaw. Okay, fun episode. We liked it. Everyone liked it. You liked it, right, Gilbert?
Loved it. It's a lot of fun. Great episode. Hilarious. Just absolutely hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
Antoinette, you're still alive. But anyway,
You're still alive. Still alive.
escaped.
You escaped. I don't know how.
What do you think, George, of this episode? What your general opinion?
It was a good Halloween episode. I remember it came out, I think October 27th, and I was like, okay. So I'm like, and as a kid when you're watching it, you're like, oh, and you really don't appreciate it until you're older. So I just had to be a little bit older to appreciate Trek in general. So, but yeah, it is a good episode. It's just a basic. It was just a basic Halloween episode. It's not. There's no revealing stuff for the characters.
No.
It's just another.
No background.
So no, it's just
like no background. There's you don't really, it doesn't really reveal anything.
No, it's just
in the episode.
Just one of those ones meant to gotta give you that little creep scare,
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, they might as well have broken out into song in this episode because it was a standalone kind of episode. It wasn't anything that affected the overall Trek universe. It was just kind of like, hey, here's this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe they should have sang songs. That would have been fun. Like Halloween musical episode. But what I wanted to get to, why I started the show reset a little early, I just finished Star Trek Discovery.
Mhm.
I have been putting it off. I watched a bit here and there, and I wasn't into it, and I don't know why, because I have finished all 5 seasons, and I freaking love this show. It's amazing. Amazing. If you haven't watched Star Trek Discovery, why are you even here listening to me right now? Why? Go to Paramount Plus and watch right goddamn now.
Well, I will say this. I started watching it essentially when it first came out, and without the first season, through the first season, I was kind of all right. I mean, see where it goes. It was starting out kind of slow, but then sometime during the second or third season, it really picked up. But then when they slung shot all the way to the future, then I was like, oh, now this is where the show it got its Riker beard moment.
Yeah,
and so
didn't need to grow a beard, but it did.
But it did,
But it did.
It didn't need to, but it did. And throughout the whole time, I watched and I loved it. And I'm here, and I would go on to, like, say, on YouTube, and I would see all these other, fans that would completely trash it. And I'm like, why? Because I couldn't understand it. Because, I mean, it was such a good show visually.
There's a non-binary person. Trek is too woke.
And, yeah. And here's the thing. And it was visually, it was so impressive. Storytelling, story-wise of it just like in every story, it has its ups and downs. Sometimes it kind of got slow in some parts, but then when it picked up, it's like, oh, okay, you see where the slow parts were just kind of building up to, to the, to this peak, or to adding on to the story that builds to the end of it. And with all of that going, and with all the crazy, I just couldn't understand it. And I remember when I first asked you, Gretchen, if you'd seen it, and you was like, no, I haven't seen it yet. I was like, wait, what? Because I couldn't, and again, it was like one of those things, like, I couldn't understand that. Like, my brain couldn't process that.
I know. We've kind of dealt with this because you're watching through Enterprise.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm more like I'm sorry. Whereas you're like, you haven't watched Discovery, you're watching through it, and I'm like, yeah, and you're like, you're gonna love this.
No, because
I'm telling you, I'm sorry, because you're watching Enterprise, and you're telling me I'm watching Discovery. Like,
you're gonna love it.
It's gonna be badass.
And I knew that because Gretchen, we're friends, and so at this point, I would kind of like to know, I'd like to think that I know, some part of something that you would like, I mean, the only way I think that I would have convinced you instantly to watch it right then and there. The first time I ever asked you was like, "Well, what do you mean? It's got Darth Vader in it." No, it doesn't. And you would start an argument, and then.
well, from now on, going forward, if you ever suggest to me to watch anything, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. All you need to do is text me the word Discovery. And I will watch it. Because I have learned my lesson. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone beyond, Discovery is fantastic. And this was my gripe about Enterprise. Like, yes, Enterprise is a great show. I don't hate anything Star Trek, but when they came out with the concept, I'm like, why are they going backwards? Let's go forward in the future.
I understand that. I get that.
And then Discovery jumped 1,000 years in the future. I'm like, oh my god, this show is freaking amazing.
I think when they introduced the character of Jet Reno, it started getting better for me because
awesome. Yes, she's amazing.
Awesome. Like when she, like when they went to go discover her on the asteroid, and Pike is there, and everybody's in their spacesuit and everything.
Yes.
And the one girl, I think was, I forget her name. She goes, wait a minute, you hooked this guy's heart and his lungs up to this thing? She goes, yeah, well, it's basically the same principle. I'm an engineer, and I can always, and I can, read too.
Right.
It's kind of,
and the thing is that Tig Notaro, who plays Jet Reno, she is by trade, she's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
absolutely hilarious. She's absolutely hilarious.
I'm starving. Humor. Can I have something here? You're not supposed to have
her
food
dry humor is hilarious. Like, she says everything with a dead straight face.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the thing.
And you're laughing your ass off, and you're like, and she's not.
Yeah.
And she's just.
And she's like, just matter of factly. It's just, and you just can't help it. It's just like, wait, what'd you just say?
But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, Discovery grew its beard in season 3. It was great before then. I mean, the moment the Enterprise flew up at the season finale of season 1, you're like, oh my god, it's the freaking Enterprise. Even when Michael Burnham was like, it's the USS Enterprise, and then it shows up like, oh,
right. And see, the thing is, what the first season, it came onto a lot of heavy fire because the story of, the first season of just the story in general,
and Klingons, the redesign of the Klingons,
not only
and everything, I was like, okay.
Well, not only that, I mean, just how they traveled. Well, how they traveled through the was it the mycelia network? Is that how it was?
Yeah, the spore drive.
The spore drive, yeah. When they traveled through that network, it was a direct, almost plagiarism of a video game, and it came under like real heavy like scrutiny and
was there a game that had like a mushroom warp drive?
Yeah,
that I'm not aware of.
I forget the name of the game, but yeah, it was a game that pretty much had almost like the same story of the first season of Discovery, even so much to the point of where even the creatures of tardigrade were mentioned into it. It wasn't anything Star Trek
Online had a scenario like that.
No, it wasn't anything related to Star Trek.
Okay.
Like nothing related to Star Trek.
I just did a Google search, and it said, you're likely referring to Abden versus CBS lawsuit, which involved a claim that the mycelial network and spore drive concept in Star Trek Discovery infringed upon the copyright of a story concepted by writer named Farzad Abden.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Yep. And it came under kind of like some scrutiny over that, and then I don't remember anything as a result of it, but I figured they handled that because they went on to a second season and a third and a fourth, and then this final fifth one. But yeah, I would say around like the third season, especially when they flung 1,000 years into the future. Yeah, that's when it came into its own.
Oh my god. And then that was my gripe with Enterprise. Like, I like Enterprise, but I was like, why are you going backwards? I want to go forward. I want to see what Star Trek, what the Federation, what all of this is 1,000 years from now. And then they did it.
Oh yeah,
They did it in Discovery, and you're like, oh my gosh. I mean, like, again, we talk about transporters should not be a thing in the 23rd century. They should not.
No,
Because they break
because they
down
were
all-
glitchy, they were buggy. I mean, and you saw within the original series there was issues with it. Within TNG, there were issues with it. You know, DS9 had some issues with it, but they didn't really use transporters all that much because it was mostly a space station, and you know they were using shuttles.
But in Discovery, other than just having episodes or situations where the signal was blocked and they couldn't transport, there were no transporter accidents. There were no Sonak accidents happening.
So there was no
you're gone.
Yeah, there was no the transporter's down. Oh no. It's just like it's down because somebody else is interfering with the signal. Not because of any kind of manual or any kind of technical problems within the actual, you know, teleporter itself. It's somebody else's doing. You are muted. You are muted, Gretchen.
I am muted. Unlike last week's episode where Scotty's in the Jeffries tube and everything's blowing up around him and he's trying to beam Kirk off the constellation because like everything is blowing up.
Because everything's blowing up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Not like that. They didn't have that. And that was great about this show. It's like we didn't have to worry about the tech. Tech was the tech. And it did what it did.
Yes.
There were no
glitches with it. There were no problems with it. There was no, you know,
I don't have the power.
Right.
It kind of reminded me of the episode, I believe Next Generation episode, Ensigns of Command, they're called. The episode where they could not transport through this barrier or through the thing. They actually had to take a shuttlecraft down. And, you know, it was the one with the Shellyak, I believe. They were going to claim the planet. Ensigns of Command, I believe it was called. The episode, but the Shellyak had.
I remember that.
Yeah. It was. Data actually had to take a shuttlecraft down because they couldn't beam. I guess they were. I think O'Brien was trying to enhance the transporter signal so they can get through. So they beamed something down, and then they beamed it back up again, and it reminded me. It reminded me of the movie. What's that movie? The comedy. I can't think of it. I can't even think of the name of the movie. I'm just old, man. I'm just too ancient. Anyway, so
you're in good company. We're all old. Gilbert's the baby, but
the one with Tim Allen. Was it Tim Allen? Tim Allen. Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. Yes.
Tony Weaver and
right where
Alan
they
Rickman.
where they beamed the where they beamed the alien up and he goes and it exploded. Like, he goes what?
So what? Yeah. So.
The digitizer. That's right. They're using the digitizer and they beamed it. And it kind of reminded me of that when I was watching Galaxy Quest.
But yeah, that was
there are problems with the transporter. That is a good device, to send people to the planet. I think they get more action out of using a shuttlecraft. A lot of stuff can go wrong with the shuttlecraft, atmospheric.
Yeah, well, there's always
atmospheric anomalies, or it could be complete power losses and stuff like that.
Yeah, or it could just simply be just rain.
Rain.
Be acid rain.
It could be just rain
or something. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Because I mean, they're built to travel in space, not underwater. So.
Right.
But like the animated series of Star Trek, very good. My favorite episode, the ambergris element, where they had the aqua shuttle. That would be a terrific model to build. That this aqua shuttle that actually traveled underwater. So.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh
you know,
yeah.
we're going to talk about that. I mean, I don't know that we're going to do a whole season dedicated to the animated series, but we're certainly going to talk about it
Right.
once
Oh
we
yeah.
finish the first 3 seasons of this show, which are the first 3 seasons of TOS. But yeah, I think
Yeah. And I think we're gonna talk more about Discovery as well. I mean, once we get into that and into the shows of it, because as I said, when it started out kind of slow, but and I want to say, well, when they first engaged with the Klingons, and first Michael Burnham said, to give them a how did she refer to a Vulcan hello or Vulcan salute?
Yeah, the Vulcan hello. That
Vulcan
was the first
hello.
episode.
Yes.
Was called. Yeah, the very first episode of Discovery was Vulcan hello.
So yes, they're giving a Vulcan hello, which basically means you shoot first. Because she knew what Klingons were about, and
yeah, and we're definitely going to break down Discovery episode by episode, and probably more in detail once we get to
once you get to the later seasons and it starts getting into more, the like the non-binaries, like trans issues, but even like using pronouns, the they them pronouns, and Discovery touched onto that.
And we're kind of rushing through, I guess, the original series, but we're doing that one because the series is 50 freaking years old. Like, if you haven't seen these episodes yet and you really need an in-depth analysis, scene by scene breakdown, we're not that.
We give you a quick run through,
we give you the cliff notes.
We give you the cliff notes
of,
let you know
cliff notes.
So remember, we tell you what's messed up. We tell you the good, we tell you the bad, and we tell you the nerdy.
Yeah, that's basically what the cliff notes used to do.
Yeah,
like if you didn't want to read the book and you just wanted to get the whole synopsis right in the little book, and go, oh yeah, okay, that's great.
Cliff notes.
Yeah, but like I've said on this show, like when we get to what I call the big three, which is TNG, DS9,
and Voyager, yeah,
we're going to start breaking down the episodes a lot more succinctly.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get more in depth. Because again, if Star Trek has been around for 50 plus years, if you don't know the original series, go to your library, check out the DVDs, and watch them.
Or sign up for Paramount Plus, and
or go
whichever.
on YouTube.
Yeah, go on YouTube. I mean, there are plenty of YouTubers out that have, breakdowns of the series or shows or, whatever the case may be.
There are so many podcasts dedicated to Trek. There is, in fact, one that's actually called Just Another Trek Podcast.
Yes. Because, because it's, like you said, Gretchen, Trek has been around for well over 50 years, so with all of that content and millions and millions of just fans, of course, everyone's going to want to talk about it. They're going to want to, do their podcast. They're going to want to, just like how we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually getting the numbers here right now. I'm an accountant, but I can't do it in my head. Weirdly enough,
I was
59 years. 59 years.
Wow.
59 years.
Now, see, I was thinking it was closer to 70, but
no, 1966 is when it first aired, with Jeffrey Hunter as captain of the Enterprise, with Majel Barrett as number one. Which Rebecca Romaine, you're killing it. You're killing it, girl.
Absolutely.
You're
Absolutely, yes.
Come on our show, please.
Please.
We can't give you any money, but we can praise you for an hour or two.
So yes, and there was this. I'm not sure if it was on YouTube or not, but I did see where there was like a. I want to say it probably was a clip on Paramount Plus, where they did sort of like a like an introduction to Strange New Worlds, to kind of get everybody, kind of an idea of how the show was going to be. And which the clip it focused on Rebecca Romaine and Ethan Peck, the number one is Spock. It showed that when the whole little, like, I think it was like 5 or 10 minute movie or whatever, was just Spock beaming up to the Enterprise and his first interaction with the very first person he sees, which is the number one, which is Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah.
And so just that whole interaction, kind of let just kind of set the tone of the show, the Spock as a character, exploring, giving you kind of a quick flash of his human side as well as, his Vulcan side, and just kind of, just getting your feet wet.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, and I did want to talk about a little bit this talking Discovery, because like you said, season 1 and 2 were good. They were great. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But season 3 is where they grew the beard, when they launched 1,000 years into the future.
Yes.
And we got 3 great seasons after that. Something that Star Trek hasn't done except for DS9.
Mm-hmm.
And also Enterprise season 3, kind of serializing it, where it was an ongoing story versus the episodic format. And it just seems to me, though, the last season 5, was that not like a season long extension of the TNG episode?
Yes. Yes, of the progenitor episode. Yeah.
Progenitors. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and like I said, because that's what I said like months ago when it ended, is that they kind of touched back on that progenitor episode and kind of built a whole arc season around it, and
whole season.
Yeah.
Whole season.
And originally, I mean, you're thinking is and if it was me, somebody would tell me is that, well, this whole season is dedicated to that one episode. It's like, they made a whole episode? They made a whole season out just that one episode? It's like, how? Because, I mean...
I'll watch the show.
Like TNG did it like...
It was amazing!
Like, right. Said TNG did it like in an hour with commercial breaks. So I was like, how's it going to do that in a whole season? I said, no, you've got to watch it because it it is so I'm
struggling to figure out which of those 3 seasons are my favorite. Let's just put the first 2 aside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I mean, there was that season 5 with the progenitors. There was season 4 with the DMA, the dark matter anomaly.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
That was amazing. And then
wild.
Right. So I would say that I said season 1 was just introducing all the characters. Season 2 to me was more or less kind of setting up Strange New Worlds. Kind of helping kind of that setup with Spock.
Placeholder.
It
was the guy that catches the ball and holds it for the guy
right.
to kick it.
Right.
And then
so
they kicked it for 3.
Exactly. And then once they brought in Spock, introduced Spock, and introduced the whole concept for Strange New Worlds, and
And Jim Kirk with the porn mustache.
And Jim Kirk with the porn mustache. Yeah, yeah. He did have that. He did have that.
Like Jim, you got to get rid of that mustache.
Eventually, he did.
It wasn't Jim. It wasn't James Kirk. It was his brother, right? George.
Was it George Kirk?
Yes, it was. It was his brother George. Yes,
because
Jim was clean shaven.
Yeah,
because Jim was completely clean shaven.
George Kirk and a Sam Kirk. Because Sam is the one who.
Or was it? No, wait. Or was it George? Was it George?
Yeah.
Was George Kirk was his father, and Sam?
Yes,
Sam Kirk was his brother. Sam's his brother. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I want to make sure.
So yeah, Sam is the one who's eventually going to be killed by the
flying scrambled eggs. Yeah.
Yes.
Flying scrambled eggs.
Flying cheese omelets, as my brother would have said.
So
he said, "Look, they look like cheese omelets." Yeah.
Said the vampire butt snot monster.
Vampire butt snot monster.
Yes. So. But yeah, Sam had the porn stash, but yeah, that was setting up for that third season. Of course, going into the future and the burn. Figuring out what the burn, what was the burn, how what they could do to fix what the burn caused, and kind of reestablishing Starfleet.
Right.
In season 4, DMA, which that was just that season. I thought for sure there would be no way they could top that season because it was just it was so good. But then season 5 came out and it went into the whole progenitor story, and I'm going to put it to you like this. I don't know about you, Gretchen, what those kind of last two, maybe 3 episodes of it, the whole visual just aspect of it, the effects, the whole nine of just exploring just how large the progenitor, planet would be, to make these, to create life, how big the machine would be, what would it cost, what would it do,
The fact that it was in the Lagrange point, 2 black holes.
Right? Because that was the only safe place.
The power of the black holes to power itself.
Yes. And essentially,
also, by the way, Jonathan Frakes, you were freaking amazing. Like, you directed many episodes, Discovery. Like,
pretty much almost the whole entire series.
As if Riker wasn't amazing already. Like, John, do you really have to make me wish you were single more?
Right. Right. I mean,
if you ever get divorced, I mean, I'm free.
Well, sure, you'd have to do the Riker sit down.
Oh, he doesn't sit down. He throws his.
So you got to do the Riker sit down, where you throw your leg over the chair. You throw your leg over the chair, and then you sit down.
I can do that, sir. And your only competition is Michael Dorn.
And see,
okay, maybe Avery Brooks, but
Avery
Brooks is just—he's a bit weird. I love you as Captain Sisko, but you're like out there, man. You're out there. Like, I'm out there, but you're out there.
You're out there. But I would say
George, you should have just gotten. I sent you some texts. I signed you up on. I made a profile for you on my Paramount Plus.
Oh, thank you very much.
You are Captain.
Awesome.
That's your login.
I saw. Yes, thank you. I saw that the seasons for Discovery are available on Hulu. I have Hulu, but I'm going to see if they're available. If they're available, then I could watch it there, like without using your. The only problem with using a login, sometimes it will not allow you to do it because of the of the geographical location.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes,
Just,
Paramount is not one of those companies that do that yet. Not like Netflix, where it's like, hey, you're not in the same household. And
Right, yeah. Like, Netflix is bad about that.
Even Prime did, they trolled Netflix one day. They put out this tweet on Twitter, and they showed, the logins, all the different, icons, who's signing in, right? And it was like, and that was the meme. Who's signing in? Whoever you shared your password with.
Right.
Prime is like, yeah, screw you, Netflix, because we don't care.
So, right. I mean,
you can't have over 63 people that sharing your login from all over the world. You can have maybe 2 people,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, as far as my Paramount goes, it's me, you, and my dad. So, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Hey. But I would say my personal favorite season was the actual season 4, the DMA. Yep.
DMA. Yep. Season 4. Oh, it was incredible. And Species 10C was wild.
Oh my God, yes. and I said, don't get me wrong. I liked season 5. Visually it was amazing. And scientifically, I mean, it made sense that the progenitor's homeworld would need the power of a black hole.
One, but 2.
It would make sense for to essentially create a planet and create life. How much power would that take? A lot.
Yeah, and season 3 was great, but it really was sort of a setup. Hey, we're here now, 1,000 years in the future. This season is getting us solidified. That's why season 4, and I agree with you, was the best, because it was, we're here now. This is what we're doing, and we're not ending, which is what 5 was doing. 5 was the beginning of the end.
Right, exactly.
4 was solely itself.
Yeah, it kind of gave that feel like in, original, or next gen, where, they had their mission, they were going on the mission, and, and the whole 9, but, there were still some things they didn't encounter. So what did they have to do? They had to think on the fly. They had to kind of be creative. They had to be use some ingenuity. And it's sort of like how they did same thing with in next gen when Q put the Enterprise under the Borg's attention. So what did he have to do? He had to find a way so he could beat the Borg. So it kind of gave that kind of same vibe.
It's the reason why we got Defiant, which was a starship built to fight the Borg. The reason that the Enterprise E was created as a non-family having... There were no families on the Enterprise E. It was a battleship designed to fight the Borg.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean... that's why I say, I mean, it... For me... That's why I say, season 4 was the best. I mean, don't get me wrong. All the other ones were great. Great show, but a lot of them were setups. But season 4 had that kind of same vibe as the older ones, where they had to use kind of their know-how and ingenuity to overcome a problem that they had never faced. 1 was the DMA itself, and then 2 was communicating with the aliens that sent the DMA, and then 3 at 3 even a problem that they didn't even know that could even be a problem was hopping over to the neighboring galaxy to say, yo, get your shit, man. you're messing up my solar system. You're messing up my galaxy. Get your shit.
Yeah, and again, that comes back to a lot of things I think about because people are like, I wish aliens would come here and just wipe out our planet because we have all these problems. And first of all, it's like that episode that George was talking about, where Data goes down to that planet and he's trying to get the people to leave, and Data says to the effect, like at the end, like the oppressors, the Shellyak, they can destroy your planet, destroy you from orbit without ever having seen their faces. You'll die never having seen the people who killed you. But then again, if you have that technology and you get here, is their intention really to destroy us? Like, why are they coming here to destroy us for our resources when they could basically mine those from space? There are stars with trillions upon trillions of oceans of water vapor surrounding them. Why would you come here for our water? It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
No, I understand it. I mean, the only way I could possibly see it is that there's something specific within that planet's atmosphere that has somehow changed that water to be, somehow would benefit them as opposed to, anything that would kill them. This would be something that would rehydrate them. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. But other than that, I mean, it wouldn't really make sense.
Or that the water of Earth has, the basic building blocks of life for our planet, which can augment another race. The progenitors reminded me of. There's an episode from the new Twilight Zone from the 80s, and it's one of my favorite episodes of the new Twilight Zone. It's called A Small Talent for War, and it's about an alien race that descends upon the United Nations while they're having this big squabble and everything, and they basically get all of the
I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
They're like squabbling amongst themselves, and the alien race says, we can promise you this, promise you that, and they say okay, and they read the book that that they give to them, and they're like, okay, so they basically Earth is at peace, and all of the nations agree upon everything. And all of a sudden, the alien reads he reads the document that they create, and he starts laughing. He goes, "You misunderstand us. We breed warriors." He goes, to fight for our
things. To fight for our empire. Yeah,
we want you to do it. And then all of a sudden, these globes descend upon. He goes, "Well," he goes, as one of your Earth scholars or one of your Earth comedians said. Death is easy. Comedy, now that's hard. And then it just ended the episode, and I was like, wow, that's one of my favorite episodes. But it reminded me of the progenitors, how they created life, and
it should be noted that the progenitor in the TNG episode was portrayed by the actress, I'm going to mispronounce her name, Salome Jens. He also played the head changeling in DS9. The leader of the shapeshifters. It was the same actress. So yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
And the two characters on screen kind of look the same. Like the progenitors kind of look like the shapeshifter. Like they can look. Okay, tell me this. I gotta ask about the shapeshifters, the changelings. They can turn into a bird with all of the intricate feathers of a wing, but they can't make a human face.
Well, even Odo said something about that
he did.
That he said he could. It's easier to morph into like something like that, like a bird or any type of animal, but he said he had difficulty getting the intricate details of of the human body down.
Right.
And I mean, just from the simple fact of his ears, of how his ears were shaped, from his eyebrows, his nose, just the whole nine.
And that makes sense, but like,
but that's for him, and I get it. That's him.
For him, but yeah, why is the founder leader not able to mimic a human face when you've literally got episodes where changelings are mimicking other people? They're doing tests to make sure, are you not a changeling?
Yes. I've been getting to that point where you had to do like deep DNA testing, like to almost a molecular level, just to see whether or not if they are a changeling, because they've gotten so good at it.
But the leader can't make a human face. Okay. You look like a progenitor from the episode of TNG, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, we'll roll with that. I mean, doesn't make much sense, yeah, but okay.
Maybe she didn't link with those people, with those other,
but
like with those other changelings who actually found.
Or maybe it's just because
the secret of mimicking humans. That's the only other thing I can think of.
I mean,
the only thing I can think of is that perhaps that outside of Odo, not a lot of them have been around or seen many humans to begin with. So that's the only thing I can think of is why she would have problems mimicking a human. But if that was their first kind of introduction to humanity, and then I would say slingshot forward to Picard, then yeah, I could see how after that many years of just essentially just practicing the human face, then yeah, I could see how it would be the hardest to yeah.
They look the same.
But it looks the same. Yeah. And so I would get certain ones.
It says that the novel series also speculates that the founders placed a mental block on Odo's abilities to make it difficult for him to alter his face, thus explaining why he can't mimic a human face.
Okay, well, again, for Odo that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense for him, because if they're collected to,
but it shouldn't make sense like for the other founders.
But it wouldn't make sense to them. Yeah. Like I get it makes sense for Odo, because if he's not hooked up to their collective, the Great Link, right, then he wouldn't be able to kind of get that. How am I trying to say? He won't be able to understand how to, get those intricate details of a human face, because, everybody, all the other changelings have, mastered, details of a nose, details of the ear, details of the mouth, of teeth. And so it would make sense that if he wasn't connected onto it, he would have trouble with it. And if he was connected to it, but he was blocked from updating basically certain things of how to, morph and change or whatnot, and he would still have problems with it, then yeah, that makes sense as well. If he was connected, but he was blocked.
And they brought back the changelings in season 3 of Discovery, 1,000 years in the future, and they still can't do faces. They still can't do it.
I mean,
it was just an easier makeup appliance. I'm sorry.
Right.
I mean, I get, or also it's like, hey, this is how you know what this character is, but I'm sorry. Like you can mimic all the clothing you're wearing, but you can't.
But when it comes to the face,
well,
it's
like laugh lines and stuff.
For I guess for copyright purposes, if you give that person their real face in the series, you have to pay them more and all this other stuff. So it's probably that whole thing like, hey, if we put you under, 23 pounds of makeup,
I
You
never
know,
thought of that. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
That's a good point.
you know, it
Never
could be,
thought about
you know,
Yeah, that's
you know,
definitely a good point.
you
Yeah.
have to pay you more per episode, and when that episode airs, they pay you more because you're using your real face and you're talking, and you become this character now. But yeah,
Oh yeah, that's a very good
Yeah.
point. I never even considered that.
it's always the money. Come on, it's always the money, and they don't even have money in the 23rd century. Come on,
Right, I
Right.
know
24th
that.
century.
I mean, it's no different than like the in Star Trek Six, the Undiscovered Country, when the Enterprise and the Excelsior take out the Klingon bird of prey, and you've got that explosion, and it bugs me most because you can see that piece that bounces up,
Oh
flies
yeah.
up, and I'm like, oh, that was bad editing. But they reuse that same explosion for Star Trek Generations when the Enterprise takes out Lursa
Oh
and
yeah,
Bator's ship before the
Mm-hmm.
Enterprise crashes on Viridian 3. So I was like, hey, that was a bad explosion. Why did you reuse it and not edit it? Because we can literally see the piece bouncing up. Like, what is it bouncing off of? Where's it coming
usually
from?
they'll do explosions with three cameras from from three different camera angles. So they could have used another camera angle shot if they
Right.
had it. You know, they could
But
have
they
done it,
didn't.
but they
They
didn't.
used
Yeah.
they used the same scene.
Well, they
Uh,
figured
Exact same
within, so how many years before Undiscovered Country and Star Trek Generations was it? How many years? 2 years? 1 year? They figured that you
find out.
forgot it.
Star Trek
Probably.
Discovered Country came out in 91
Oh,
and Generations came out in 94, so 3 years.
yeah. So
As they figure
3 years. You're
3 years.
remember. You're
I think I'm not gonna remember
the
that.
same sequence, but I would.
I remembered. I saw
Mhm.
it and I'm like, I've seen that before.
Say, wait, that looks familiar.
I went to the theater to see Star Trek Generations, and I was like, I've seen that.
Yeah, that
I
reminds
saw it
me
on
of
HBO, and it was bad lighting. I was like, oh, so it's a Star Trek Next Generation episode with bad lighting. It has horrible, like Picard's office was so dark. I was like, yeah, I've seen it before on TV, but I'm like,
it was a little bit brighter.
Bad lighting.
You know what's weird is I actually like the darker lighting in Generations versus other shows and movies.
Yeah, and that
Right.
made
Yeah.
it more realistic and less, like, hi, this is the future. We're so bright and happy here. Like, like.
So yes, it's
Actually,
bright because
right,
everybody
right.
needs to. We're making it very bright because everybody needs to see in the future, instead of.
And maybe that's my anti-lens flare.
But
talking.
the Generation also
Right.
introduced the DS9 uniforms.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah,
they had
that is true.
interspersed, the DS9 uniforms with the Next Generation uniforms, and everybody was wearing different things, kind of like to lead into DS9 because they were doing DS9 at the time.
Yes, and
Yeah.
isn't it funny how in every one of the Star Trek Next Generation movies, Worf was always somehow available to be there?
It's like, damn,
I don't
boy.
know about Generations. I don't know when. Let's see, when did Deep Space Nine start?
All I was thinking is that Worf.
And Worf didn't even
99?
show up until
It's like
season 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking like.
Okay, so
damn.
DS9 started in 93. So yes, even Generations, he was already on. Well, maybe not, but still, it's like, yeah. I'm like,
Like-
oh, hey, here's
like the Federation
Worf's
guy.
contact.
Like the Federation has him everywhere.
I'm here to fight the Borg, which makes sense because the Defiant was designed to
Yeah.
fight the Borg.
Right.
So yeah, a Borg are attacking Earth. Girl, you gotta go.
So
But,
yeah,
like,
it makes
5 and
sense.
6, like 5 and 6. I mean, okay, I don't get that. I mean, 6.
Adrift but salvageable. I'm like, okay.
Adrift with sound. Yeah,
right.
not 5 and 6, but Insurrection. I don't
Mhm.
get why Worf was there. 6 or not 6.
I had seen
Nemesis makes sense because they were all
Yeah.
fighting.
I had seen
Riker and Troy's
a little comic, like a little comic, blurb from one of the last Star logs that I had, and It's like going, okay, Picard, it's the Enterprise Z. This is absolutely the last starship we can give you. Because like after Generations, I might say when the Enterprise D is destroyed, right? In Generations.
Yes.
Okay.
Was it? Yeah.
And they do talk about it in the very final season of Picard. They talk about the fate, or they allude to the fate of the Enterprise E. And remember, Worf says, "That was not my fault." What wasn't your fault? What happened? I need to know what happened to the Enterprise E. Please tell me.
Right? I mean, you just can't just say that it wasn't my fault and then leave it at that. Hold up. What happened?
They put Troy at the helm. That's what it was. It's a woman driver. Sorry. Sorry. That's what I heard. I heard it like going.
I'll say
and like, I Google it, and the AI overview tells me in the Star Trek universe, the USS Enterprise E was destroyed in 2408 by the Undine, which is species 8472, in an ambush at Starbase 236. But that doesn't is that canon? What does that mean? Star Trek people, we need to know this. Tell us these things.
You have to understand there's no continuity in Star Trek. If you understand that,
yes,
and you understand every single episode ever made.
Yeah, well, yes, I understand.
Like the like with it, like Captain Sulu's starship USS Excelsior. Okay, when he was on the Excelsior and he was captain of Starship, there's an episode in Voyager where Janeway and Tuvok go back to that time. I believe Q sends them back to.
They're mind melding.
Right. Sorry. They're mind melding. Right. And one of the officers, in the beginning, dies on the ship. He dies from this explosion.
Yep.
Okay. He's a Russian officer. I forget his name.
I know.
But at the end of Star Trek 6,
he's
you
alive
see
and
him
well
on the bridge. And
when Sulu's saying, from the crew of our ship to yours,
right?
And he's standing there,
right?
But dude, you died.
So
we saw that Voyager episode. You died. You're dead already.
Like how?
Pointed that out to them, and they said, "Oh," and they went back and they went, "Oh." He goes, maybe it was his twin brother. That's what they said to him.
Oh my god,
twin brother.
Like Star Trek or any other franchise that's nerdy out there, if you would just consult a nerd once or twice, you wouldn't have these problems. We'll point these issues out.
Yeah,
we'll say, hey, you can't do that. He's dead.
Right? I mean,
my God, come on.
It's kind of hard to do that when the guy is dead, man. I mean, come on.
Dead. Yeah.
He died in the first
he died
minutes of the episode, and I'm like, okay, and all of a
sudden he's back at the end. Like
hi.
Hey guys. What happened to you? Oh, I just got knocked unconscious. I just got knocked unconscious for about 40 minutes.
Unconscious. I had this huge piece of metal in my skull.
I just got knocked unconscious for about 40 minutes. I said no. I got knocked unconscious for 50 minutes with commercial breaks.
It was from the episode of Voyager called Flashback.
Yeah.
The person in question was Lieutenant Dmitri Valtain.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and dude, you were alive in Star Trek 6. What's up with that?
Maybe they pumped him full of stimulus or something like that, like they did with John Gill in Patterns of Force, and
maybe
Weekend at Bernie's Star Trek edition.
Weekend at Dimitri's. There you go.
Weekend at Dimitri's.
We are starting a new podcast next week called Weekend at Dimitri's. And he's now going to be part of every episode.
So where's Dimitri at today? Oh, he went to Rigel 7. Where's Dimitri at today?
He's on Risa.
He went to Risa.
There's a new podcast. Is Weekend at Dimitri's. You can review all the people who have died in all the Star Trek episodes from the original up until now.
Yeah, maybe not a new podcast, but certainly a feature or segment.
Yeah,
we could like dedicate an episode to, or an episode or two, make it like a two-parter or something like that.
I'm writing this down now.
Okay.
Future segment on Rules of Nerdquisition will now be called Weekend at Dimitri's.
Called Family Plots. I don't know.
Family Plots.
Family plot.
Wait. Plot a course. There you go. Plot a course.
Plot a course. Hey.
Course plots. I don't know. Course plots.
There you go. You can make a second. We can make a section.
I might have to give Gilbert the Weekend at Dimitri's segment because I already do the kill to death ratio.
I was about to say your kill to death ratio could be the
Weekend at Dimitri's.
Weekend at Dimitri's. I mean,
because he's dead but not dead.
I mean, I'm just saying.
We're so stupid.
Nerds. Oh, shout out to Aaron. Nerds.
Aaron, yes. If we can't get anybody else on our show on our 1-year anniversary, which we will air on March 23rd of this year, 1 day short of the 1-year anniversary, because
it's the 1 year falls on a Monday, and
we don't do Mondays.
No.
The nerds don't do Mondays. No, we don't.
Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. So.
Yeah. But March 23rd, 2025 will be the Rules of Nerdquisition 1-year anniversary episode. We're trying to get some guests on. We're going to do something fun. We're going to plan stuff. Me and Gilbert are talk. We always do. And if we can't and we fail, Aaron, you're coming on. And we will be nerdy for 2 hours. And you can call us nerds for 2 hours.
So yes.
Yeah.
We will allow you that privilege for 2 hours to call us nerds.
For 1 day.
For one day.
2 hour period. 1 day.
Well, we will give that to you.
After the gloves are off, bitch.
You can call us nerds, but don't call us late for dinner.
Exactly.
I
say that all
yes.
the time. As a trans person, you can call me whatever you want. I don't care. Just don't call me late for dinner. I like food. What can I say? I like food.
Me too. I mean, me too.
Our most basic function. But anyway. Yeah, so
Yes.
Cat's Ball was fun. Yay. Halloween episode.
Yes, the
Discovery.
Halloween, yes. Discovery, great series.
Fantastic. Watch that show, people. Go watch it.
You need to watch it. Honestly, I kind of wish it would go at least 1 or 2 more seasons so it can match the 7-season stretch that it does, with TNG, DS9, Voyager. Well, they all had 7 seasons. They had 7 seasons. I would say this one.
That makes sense, though. Enterprise got 4. So far, Strange New Worlds has
3.
3 and
has
4 confirmed.
Yeah, 4 confirmed. 3 is coming
Discovery
out.
had 5.
Discovery's 5. Yeah.
Lower Decks had what? 5.
Lower Decks has 3 seasons, I believe. I want to say 3, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm about to find out right now.
5.
It has 5
Season 6
of
6.
no.
5 is what we got, and they're done.
Yeah.
They
They just aired their last Episode November November last year, December last year.
December 19th, 2024
Yeah.
was ending season 5.
And there are rumors, we want to be clear on that there may be more coming. Because we don't know. It's officially canceled. But
Yeah.
People are,
But people have been, sending in, their emails and kind of making it known, making, as much noise as they can that they like Lower Decks and they don't want it canceled. So we have to see how that goes.
I wish we could have done that with Discovery, but at least we're getting a new series called Starfleet Academy, which takes place in the Discovery time period.
Also getting Section 31.
Also getting Section 31, yeah.
That's just a side movie, though. It's one movie. There's
I thought it was going to be
one movie.
I thought it was a series. Oh, okay. It's just a movie. Oh, okay.
Yep, and it's going to be a one and done. So, yes, I can't wait to see Michelle Yeoh again as Philippa Georgiou. But, it's going to be a one and done. So, Starfleet Academy is going to be a series. I don't know how many seasons, but it takes place in the future Trek, 32nd century or whatever.
32nd century. Yeah. So hopefully you get some more Tilly. I love Tilly. Tilly's the best characters. I love Tilly. I love Tilly.
Tilly, Saru, like two best, and Jet Reno.
Oh, and Jet Reno. Yes.
Those three characters are the best in Discovery. The absolute best.
Yes. Yes, they are so great.
I love the trans inclusion and all that stuff. I'm sorry, Gray was annoying.
I didn't like Gray. I'm sorry, I didn't like Gray, and probably unpopular opinion. I didn't like Adira. I didn't like Adira until after they broke up.
Yeah,
because every time
they didn't flourish until Gray was gone.
Right. I just didn't like her. I didn't like them. I didn't.
No, and it's fine. It's fine.
And not until
I am an LGBT person. I represent multiple letters in the alphabet mafia, and I can safely say, Adira, not my favorite character. Gray, ugh. Even Stamets was annoying.
Stamets was okay at times. When Stamets wasn't just thinking about himself, then he was tolerable.
Hugh. Dr. Hugh was amazing. I loved him. He was a great character.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry, Dr. Hugh, your partner annoys me.
So,
so when Stannis was unconscious or dead or sleeping or something like that, he was a good character, I guess.
Yes.
When he was asleep and not talking.
When he was asleep.
He was unconscious and not
when
talking.
he was unconscious,
he was muted.
He was great.
Yeah, and that's important to say that inclusion is important. Diversity is important. I love to see, as a person in the LGBT community, that I love to see my community represented. But that doesn't mean that I'm always going to like these people.
Yeah, and
I would say you, Gilbert, as a black man, you've watched movies with black people in them, and you're like, I don't like that person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, that person is they're just an asshole, or they're just really bad, and
it doesn't make me internally transphobic. It doesn't make you internally racist. It just means this person, regardless of their identity, it kind of sucks.
Yeah. I mean, people just suck. And I'm sorry, but I just didn't like that character. I didn't like the character until they broke up. I just didn't like him. Didn't like them at all.
I was more invested in Michael's journey and also her with Booker.
I was more invested in that whole love story with those two more than anything. Because at the end of the, I wanted both of them to be together so bad throughout the whole.
And then they got married and had a kid. And
yes, and that was the best. That was one of the best parts. I was like, yes. Now I need another series. Now I need another series with their kid.
Yes. Well, just like at the end of Card, when Card and Beverly's son meets Q.
Yes.
Like, now are you going to give me a series? You can't do that to me.
Yeah, you just can't. You just can't do that and just like do something like that and then just say, "Oh, that's the end."
Walk away.
Nope.
No, we'll talk about that next week. But thank you, George, for coming on the show. We love having you, and I love
thank you very much.
All the shows that we have on there. But this has been the Rules of Nerdquisition. Our 1 year anniversary is coming up soon. We'll be back next week to review yet another episode of Star Trek, the original series in season 2. But my name is Gretchen. This is Gilbert and our special guest, George. You can catch us always on gcpr.live and YouTube at Rules of Nerdquisition. And I will leave it to Gilbert to send us home, as he always does.
Yes, I will do that. And again, you can catch us on all of our social media platforms except for TikTok, because F TikTok. So that's a whole nother story altogether. Take care, everyone.